Hello everyone, my name is Mekkah151 and I'm here with Deltre.
What's up, guys?
We're filling in for Don on his FE12 0% growth playthrough. We're doing chapters 1 and 2. And right away we're going to be getting into the battle preparations, which are quite a bit more eventful than they were in the prologue, because we have access to a couple new features. One of these features is the DLCs that Don activated, which are the Rainbow Potion and the Bond Drop. But this chapter will only be doing the former. The Rainbow Potion is going to be given to 2 units to boost their stats, almost everyone except for HP, by 2, which makes a huge difference. We also get access to reclassing, which is almost limitless in this game. You can do it as many times as you want, as long as you stay within the limits. Especially mill units are pretty flexible in this regard, because we beat the game once before, and that means they have access to both the class sets from Mill A and Mill B, unlike in Shadow Dragon. And that means that, for example, Gordin gets to go Hunter instead of Archer, which just improves him all around. We also make a pretty powerful forge, the Poorthia, which is a stronger steel bow with a bit more hit on it. Very helpful for chip damage in general, but especially good against the many flyers that this game puts you up against, so really helpful in that regard. The most important character that we get in this chapter is probably Arran, the male paladin. We didn't reclass him, he starts as a paladin. With the Rainbow Potion he doubles pretty much every enemy from what I remember, and he one-rounds them with an Iron Sword, which is really impressive. And as always, pre-promotes you get early are very crucial in 0% growth, and this chapter is no exception. He does almost every bit of combat here.
Now, aside from Arran, there's a few other key players on this map, most noticeably Draug, who with the Rainbow Potion boost is able to both double and one-round KO each and every one of these pirates, as well as the hunters with his Iron Axe as a pirate. Besides those two characters, we also have somebody like Marth, who ordinarily is a fairly solid unit in a growth-oriented playthrough. However, here he is unfortunately not going to have a lot of room to grow into his own. He still is a pretty key player, though. There are many side objectives throughout the game that rely solely on Marth, such as villages, recruiting certain characters, and he also eventually gets the ability to open up treasure chests as well. Beyond Marth, there are, of course, the Avatar making his appearance here, but we also have characters such as Cecil, who is being used here over somebody such as Luke or Rhodey due to her lower defense value. Seeing as to how enemies prioritize damage over anything else, this is going to allow Cecil and Cecil alone to safely distract some of the hunters coming up here on the following enemy phases, keeping Draug pretty healthy where otherwise he would be targeted and brought too low to help out with this upcoming boss kill. We also have Gordin and Ryan, who are able to do some pretty good chip damage here on the earliest turns of this map. And you just saw there, Marth hit the village and recruited the character Militia. Now, Militia is the first healer that you get in this game, but the most important thing about her, without a doubt, is the fact that she has the exclusive access to the Hammer'n Staff. And the Hammer'n Staff, of course, allows you to repair any weapon or stave back to full durability, regardless of how low it is when the Hammer'n Staff is used. Very, very important item. It's more than worth the time spent to go out of the way and recruit her. She easily makes it up throughout the course of the playthrough. A very, very solid unit, very important unit overall, I would say.
Also, something I forgot to mention, the earlier barbarians, some of them have hand axes, and they could have attacked Arran from range, and if this was a GBA game, they probably would have done it. But in this game, as Deltre pointed out and Don as well, enemies prioritize damage over just about anything else, and so they wanted to go up close and actually do some more damage, especially because hand axes and javelins in this game are especially weak. And now you saw that Cecil right there. If that hunter had attacked Draug instead of Cecil, then Draug wouldn't have had enough HP to do what he does at the end of the map to finish the job. But instead, he attacked Cecil because she had less HP, and that way, that's really what FE12 is all full of, is taking advantage of the AI and its predictability. That's really nice. And also we're on our way to get a bullion in the mountain hole in the south, so that we get some gold, because gold is really important in this game for forges and buying stat boosters.
Yes, and to add to that, it is important that, I believe that was Gordin. It is important that Gordin gets reclassed into a hunter, otherwise he will not have the necessary movement range to both cross the mountain and enter the cave. Now you're going to see him go for this boss kill. Ordinarily, if you're playing the game normally, you can simply talk to Lorenz with Marth. Unfortunately, there is no way for Marth to both talk to Lorenz and seize on the same turn, so sadly for Lorenz, he has to go down here. 2 hits from the Silver Lance with Arran, as well as a round from Draug, is enough to put him down. Arran's going to pick up a level here. It doesn't really matter too much in the long term as far as I'm aware. You can see Gordin pick up that bullion there, and all that needs to be done is get some last minute healing with Militia to boost staff rank, and just like that, Chapter 1 is completed.
Alright, let's move straight on to Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is very different from Chapter 1. It's a forest map with the forest spanning almost the entirety of the map. quickest way to get to the gate that Marth needs to seize is through that forest, so it's quicker for him to walk all the way around to preserve his mobility of 7, which is pretty impressive actually. We do reclass Arran to Draco for pretty much the same reason. He would take heavy terrain penalties as any other class, but as a Draco he gets to fly around freely, and that's going to be helpful for fulfilling one of his side objectives. We get another very good character in this chapter, another flyer in fact. Her name is Catria. She joins after the preps though, which is why Gordin has to take out a couple of items for her to use. And Catria is helpful not just because her bases are good, or because she can fly, but also because she supports a lot of units or receives bonuses from a lot of units that are also long-term viable just like her. So she's going to be a pretty reliable unit for this playthrough from here on out.
Yes, absolutely, but it is, again, important to get those items over to her on the first turn. Now, we saw both Draug and Arran use the Rainbow Potion before the start of this map. This is going to allow them to reach doubling and one-round KOing thresholds. Specifically for Arran, it will allow him to one-round KO the Cavaliers as they come, and Draug is going to be useful here to both ship a Draco Knight later on, as well as deal with this first hunter that Cord is going to draw in. Speaking of Cord, he is not a very viable long-term unit in my opinion. Even when Growths are in play, he's just so lackluster. There's not a whole lot special about it, but here he can be useful in order to divert the attention of that first hunter and draw them closer to the main group. We also see Arran fly through the forest there and KO that thief. Now that thief is going to try to escape the map as quickly as possible, but you don't want to allow that to happen because he has the very useful Lady Sword. Essentially, it is a woman-exclusive item, E-rank sword, that has the same stats as a silver sword, so you can see already how that can have a very long-term, an immediate boost in power for any unit who is capable of using it. And also right there, we see Catria finally use that Rainbow Potion, which will allow her to one-round KO each and every one of these soldiers as they come.
Yeah, it's very fortunate that Catria is able to use a Rainbow Potion while talking to that hunter that she just recruited. Imagine if it was like GBA Fire Emblem and she couldn't do both on the same turn. This would be pretty annoying. But as it is, she will have the stats needed to one-round kill the soldiers, and we get a brand new hunter on our team. That hunter is like a ripoff from Castor, who's already in like FE1, FE Shadow Dragon, etc. Pretty much the same deal. You recruit a hunter with Pegasus Knight and get him on your side. And we'll gladly accept the help, even though he's basically just Cord with blonde hair and a slightly changed face. Now the soldiers, they're not the biggest threat in this map at all. We can one-run KO those. The hardest part of this map, in my opinion, when I play it, is fighting the Draco Knights and the Cavaliers at the end of the map, because especially the Draco Knights have huge range. Even the boss who starts on the gate starts moving. It's kind of unique in Fire Emblem that the boss actually moves off the place that you need to seize. But it does happen, and I'm pretty surprised that London managed to kill all the enemies that are in the way before he managed to get there, because there's quite a lot of them, and the only person who really has the offense to deal with them is like Draug, who's very fragile, and Arran, who is actually really strong, again, thanks to the Rainbow Potion.
At this point, you're going to see Don move to go take the throne at this stage, so Arran's able to KO this Cavalier pretty easily. Now he's going to move in with the rest of his units, most noticeably Gordin and Ryan. They're going to be extremely essential here on the following turns in order to deal some significant damage to these Draco Knights as they come. From where Marth is at, he's going to be attacked by one and only one Draco Knight, but this will also get the attention of the boss due to the way that this game handles the AI. In several instances, groups of enemies will be linked together such that they will move when in range of one or multiple enemies. We can also see Catria here on the left, triggering this Draco Knight to come attack her. Now, she's able to deal enough damage such that Warren will be able to easily KO that Draco Knight on the left-hand side of the map on the next turn. Draug's going to start the party off here by doing some pretty good damage there. That dodge is completely unnecessary at this point. He doesn't need to take any more damage from here on in. Now Ryan is able to finish off the first Draco Knight, clearing the way for Marth, which will give Gordin just enough room to squeeze in there after Marth makes his move so that he can do some significant damage to the boss. With the Poorthia, Gordin is capable of one-shotting each and every Draco Knight on this map, barring the boss. So he's going to need a little bit of help in order to finish him off. That's where Catria is going to come into play here. So he's going to go in with Gordin right now, bring him all the way down to 4 HP, leaving him very low. Catria is able to pick him off thanks to the Rainbow Potion boost, and from there, all that needs to be done is Warren to take out that remaining Draco Knight, and just like that, this map is essentially over, bar some last-minute things such as healing with Militia to build up that staff rank once again.
Yeah, that's going to complete this chapter in exactly 6 turns, the same turn count that chapter 1 took us. Pretty interesting map to see all the exact damage management, even with the Poorthia. Things worked out pretty exactly. At the end of chapter 2, we also get the Fire Emblem, a Marth-only item that lets him open chests, just like in Shadow Dragon. It's not very useful, it's only used once in this entire run, but it's nice if you don't recruit Julian. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Later.